Hello everyone, I'm Caroline and today we're going to make some journaling cards. So these have all been made today. They're really quick to make, they're really fun to make, and just go with the flow, see what you feel like, see what you think you want to stick on and just do your thing, which is what I've done. So come on, let's go right back to before these journal cards existed and have a look how I made them. So there are lots of ways to get journal cards. You can either make them or buy them, or if you happen to find a book that's the perfect size, then look at this. This is really pretty. It's got over the ocean, and P painting a portrait. Now that would be perfect as a journal card. Now admittedly, this isn't the sort of journal card that you'll be able to write on, but there are two types. Some are just for admiring, and I don't think this needs any embellishment. I've got this little tatty pocket here. It was a prototype made of paper that I accidentally left in the oven too long when I was dyeing it. That's why it's brown and falling apart. But you can pop your journal card in there, and then when you're looking at your journal or somebody else's, they pull it out and go, ooh, how interesting. And look at that. So how can we make some journaling cards if we can't find this sort of thing? Well, there are lots of ways you can do this. And I've got lots of bits and pieces here, so we'll clear it out and we'll just have a little talk through. I've got this postcard, and it's a really interesting postcard. It's from 1904, and it's to Miss Evans at Tenby, which is in Wales. And it's the Menai Woods, but it's a bit of a boring postcard. I don't like to, for me. You may love just that image, and it's got hand-coloured sky, but for me, I think that's a bit boring. So I don't mind covering the front of that. And that way it'll look like a handwritten card in your journal, but it'll have a bit more interest on the other side. So we're going to turn that into a journal card. We're also going to use some 6x6 sheets for making some journal cards. Now these are single-sided. You can use double-sided, but if you're going to be folding them like I am, you might as well use a single side if you can't, if they're nice both sides. Find something that's just single-sided. Another thing, I have this book, The Hutchinson Treasury of Teddy Bear Tales. And this has got some beautiful images in it. I pulled some out that we're going to use for embellishments. But sometimes you can find a book like this that isn't journaling size, but you could cut these out and make actual journal cards with them. And then they're not going to be right on the other side. Let's find a nice one. So many pretty pictures in here. Keep flicking through. Oh, that's not a very happy one. So say we were going to use this picture here as a journal card. You look on the back and it's not going to be very good. So then you can stick some writing paper or something on the back for the person to take their notes on. Another thing you can do is just take a scrap of paper. Now, this could be junk mail. Let's move that out of the way. This could be a piece of junk mail you just got through your door telling you, buy our pizzas or come to us to have your car fixed. This is just some questions from our other channel, or my husband and I's other channel for Mudlarking. These are the questions and answers. We finished with this now. So I'm going to use this cheap copier paper, and you can see the writing through it, but that doesn't matter. So what we'll do is we'll start off by using this, and we'll build up to something that's a little bit more, not valuable, but something that's not as easy to obtain as a piece of junk mail or scrap paper. I'm going to cut this into two. Now, if you've not got something to go on both sides, if this is plain copy paper and you decided, oh, I can just leave it blank for journaling, then you're not going to be putting so many layers on. So it would be good to fold it 4 ways. But this one, I think will be fine because I'm going to add papers both sides, just using half of it. So this is, I can never remember, it's a strange way with paper, isn't it? A4 is one size, A5 is smaller, and A6 is smaller again. So this is A6 size, so you'll make 2 A6 sizes from one piece of A4. Fold it over, run it down with a bone folder or a ruler or your thumbnail, your glue stick. You don't have to have a bone folder. Right, now I need some paper to lean on, otherwise I get glue everywhere. And there we go, we'll use this bit of paper. Right, I'll just do the one. I don't know if we'll come back and do the other. I'm trying not to run too much over an hour. It's amazing how long it takes to get these done. Not that it's technical, it's just there are a lot of decision processes to make. There are so many I want to make to show you, so it's fitting it all into an hour. So pop yourself some glue. I'm using a glue stick. You can use anything that's good for paper. Be aware with PVA, it'll probably make your paper ripple. And then fold it in half, and wow, that first step, whoops, was very easy, wasn't it? So there you've got the potential for a journaling card. I'm just going to check. Yes, we've been at it for about 5 minutes now. So there's a journaling card that we're going to make a start on. So what are we going to stick on this? Now, I thought we could do the back on this one will be used for writing on, and the front as a decoration. So on the back, let's have a look. I've got here some tea dyed paper. No, I think this was coffee dyed paper. So we're going to put this on the back. But before we do, what I want to do is ink the back up. Get my ink out. And I'm going to ink the edges, but I'm also going to ink in a little bit because I don't want this to starkly stand out against the background. So the edges can be nice and dark, but then just a light coating. It doesn't matter if it gets a bit dark anyway, on there, like that. And because this one has, do a bit of that all around, some circles. Because this one has got some writing showing through there, you can either stick a plain piece of paper on before you do this. You can, I'll use this as an example, put your writing paper right to the edge, but I'm going to cheat and put a little bit of fancy lace there. I do love any excuse to use some lace. So this is a pretty one, and it's not too thick. So we'll try that one. If I put that on, there's a stretchy one, like that. It's the wrong way up, we'll have to turn it over in a minute. And then I put this on. Or I think I'll use a fatter one. Somewhere here I got a fatter one. Found it. And I'm just going to pop that. This one hasn't got a better side. This is the same both sides. I'm going to pop it down there and then put the paper on. Or I can put it that way, but you can still see the letters. So no, I'm going to pop it that way. So I get my Aleene's Clear Gel Tacky Glue and pop some of that on here. But don't pop your lace straight down on that, because otherwise it'll get all gooey and lumpy in the lace. So as much as this is messy, the best thing to do is to rub it all over with your finger like that. And then pop your lace on it. Like that. Don't worry if it's hanging over the edge a little bit. Sometimes it's easier to trim it neatly after you've glued it to the page. So try and get it exactly the right size. It's quite a challenge. There we go. Easy as that. Right, we need a wet wipe. There we go. I think we'll be using that a lot before the end. And now I need my scissors. And we'll trim off this lace. There. And on the bottom half. There. I've got a nervous twitch now. I keep standing up to check that you're actually seeing what I'm doing. Right, so that's there. Now we want to put that up there and check out this paper. Now, I think the best side to have this is going to be on this side of the card. And I think I'd like the piece with, some of this is quite tatty. I could use the tatty half. I think I'll use the less tatty half. So I'll cut it to about there. I don't like measuring. A little tear in the paper so I don't lose my place, and we need to do it this way. This is the frilly bits. There's my little tear, and off it comes. It's terrible for jamming, this paper cutter. Right, so now where's my card? We want to estimate how we want this to fit. So we put it there and about there, I think. Make a little tear in it again. Pop that up there. And now we need to glue this. It sounds silly, but make sure you glue the right size. Not that I've ever glued the wrong side. Much. These little bits over here can be quite a challenge. So just do your best with them. Oh dear, that one's torn. And you can always add a little bit of extra glue if necessary afterwards. There we go. Bring our card back in. And that's getting a bit sticky now, so we'll move that out of the way and pop this on like that. There. Get my bone folder and slide that way, but I won't on the little sticky up bits because it'll tear them off. Ah, they're sticking to my finger. Right, now, spot the deliberate mistake because this has writing down here. It is showing through, which is a bit of a nuisance. So there are a few options. One, we can ignore it. Two, we could put a different lace down there. We could put our... Ooh, actually, I think I like that. If we put the thin piece there and at the top. I think we'll do that. That's what I love about journaling. You start with an idea. I know exactly what I'm going to do. And then you think, oh, I think of something better. Yes, change my plans. All right, give it a rub again. Like that. And we'll pop some lace on. This time we put the frilly bits facing up on the bottom. And I'll find the other end of this and we put it down on the top. Make sure it's going right to the edge. Better over the edge than not quite reaching the edge. Like that. Oops. Where's my wet wipe? And we cut this off there. And there. And there we've got the back with some lines to journal on. When that paper dries out, you won't see those words behind there, hopefully. I think we'll be okay. And now we're going to do the front. So on the front, I think I'm going to stick some more coffee dyed paper. We've got several here. Which one should we do? If we go for the really dark one, wow, that's dramatic. We'll go for that one. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm not going to fuss about trying to cut it to the right size. Which should we go? Really dark? I think we'll go for this area here. So I'm going to glue this and then turn it over. Make sure you get the edges done. And stick it onto the piece of paper directly, like that. Turn it over. Now it's good if you can match it up to the top, so if you're trying to cut it, but don't panic if you can't. I wonder if we can get right into the corner, matching it both ways, there and down the long edge. Oh, I think we have. Oh, I've impressed myself. There we go. And now don't use my fabric scissors. I'm putting that in there and getting my other scissors. And along we go. To there. And put up this side. Like that. Ink the edges over. Do it a little bit this side, but just to stop those white bits showing quite so brightly where the cut edges of the paper are. I think we're pretty good on this one because it's tea dyed. The tea tended to soak right through. Right, so there, it's important to remember which way up this goes, and I know this because before now I've stuck it with this that way up after all that effort to make it the right way up. Right, so that's the way the top is, so that's the way, is that stuck? Yep. That's the way our front end, I suppose, is going to go. Yeah, before that, the front end. Right, now I'm going to get some lace. I do love using lace, any excuse. I'm going to use some of this one, I think. And I'm going to use some music. I've got a sheet of music here. So, oh, this has got a lot going on. So we'll tear up this bit. Go round it off a little bit. Round that off a little bit more. That wasn't very rounded, was it? You can get use any piece of music, but some of them, I don't know if any of these are, they've got a lot of this going on and it's not as much to look at, so I do love to have a little bit more activity. What I think I'll do is I'll go right to the beginning of this, and then we'll try to get the treble and 2 treble clefs in, and then we'll round off the edge then. So if that's going to come, remember, tear upwards to take off the bit you're not going to use, and it's easier to ink. Right, so we don't want to go any further than there really. So looks like we'll be making 2 out of that piece. No, that's not very round, is it? Just round that off a little bit more. Make it look like somebody's taking a bit more care. Yep, that's fine. So now I'm going to glue this on with more glue. So we'll cut this off. Like that. And then glue it going up like that. More glue. I can't get over how much glue I used. The first, like, 39 years of marriage, I used perhaps 1 tub of glue, and I don't think I even used all of that. There was some PVA stuck under the sink, and then I started doing journaling, and from there on, I just used so much glue, different types. I only ever really thought about PVA glue. I think we used a rubber solution glue in school once, and that stunk. But other than that, it's just PVA glue for me. And now I've got lots of different types of glue I use. It's a case of horses for courses with glue. And because I'm using fabric, I'm using this tacky glue. PVA possibly would work, but I'd have to put so much on, it's going to ripple the paper underneath and just become a nuisance. Right, so next we get our scissors and chop it off. Don't worry about losing all these little bits of lace, because we're going to come up with something to do with these in a future video that is absolutely gorgeous, absolutely stunning, and I can't wait to make that video. I do love playing with lace, and it'll all be for your journal. There we go. That's sort of straight, isn't it? Sticking out a bit there. Take a bit more off. There. And a bit more. Take a bit more off that side. There we go. Right, now this is starting to look lovely. More ink. Just because we can. I do love inking things. Listen to that. Isn't that fun? Oh, I could just sit down all day inking things. There we go. Right, so this now is going on here. It's possibly got enough glue coming through the holes to hold it on. Let's check. Yes, probably, but I'm going to put a bit more on. Want to be sure it's not coming off. It's such a pretty journal card. It's a shame to have it fall off. And I don't need to go right to the edges. I don't mind a little bit of movement on the edges. There we go. Very nice. And wet wipe again. So now I think I'm going to put something else on here down the bottom. I've got somewhere some rickrack braid. Here we go. So, is that a bit too dark? It's very similar to the colour I got on there, isn't it? I suppose we could make it coordinate by using the thin lace again that we used earlier. That way then it'll coordinate with the back, but I don't know. What do you think? Shall we? Or not? We'll hold off on that and we'll have a look at the top. What should we do with the top? Now, when this is in a pocket, where did my pockets go? Here we go, I'm so organised. When this is in a pocket, I won't poke it right in because there's too much glue to stick to things. You can either pull it out with your hand, but I like to put a little tab on there sometimes. I just think it adds interest. So we'll take that out of there and we'll add a little tab. Now, just checking I haven't pulled anything off the back. There are lots of ways you can do this. We could use a bit of ribbon. That's quite pretty. Or we could use a piece of fabric, which I've got somewhere here. Got piles of everything everywhere. There we go. Oh. We could use a piece of this fabric. Now, I love this fabric. I don't think it's anything fancy. I don't think it's silk or anything. It's just nylon. But It does a really good job. So, I think, shall we use this? Let's cut it out and have a look. Use my pinking shears, which isn't the best pinking shears in the world, but it just about manages. There. And pink at that end. How wide should we have a tag? We don't want it too wide, so we go for about that wide. Now, that's not terribly straight, is it? But it'll be fine. So we could put that there. I think what I'd like to do is put something lighter underneath there. I wonder if we could use some of this lace under there. And then put it on. Whether that will be more decorative, do you think? Or not? Bit uneventful, isn't it? No, we won't bother with that. One thing we can do is stick a pretty button on it instead. Oh, I tell you what we could do as well. I have some keys. Here I've got some little keys. I use the smaller one. I thought I'd like bigger keys, but funnily enough, it's the smaller ones I go for, and I'm slowly working bigger and bigger as I run out of small ones. So we could put that there. Oh yes, I'm liking that. What do you think? Yep, I think we'll go for that. Right, we're going to have to use the clear glue, which I'll bring this down for again. But the only problem is you have to put such a small amount on, because otherwise it will ruin the fabric if it's a very fine fabric, which this is. So let's try putting it on there and then rubbing it in quick before it settles. Everything sticks to you when you do this. It's a nightmare. And a little bit on both corners. Oops. Ah! If you're like me and you're not blessed with gallons and gallons of patience, it can be very fiddly to do. All right, so we're going to put that there and then fold it over and put the other side there. Now don't worry if they're not the same length front and back, because you can't tell. It's really clever. Push those together a bit and hopefully, yep, there's a little bit of a loop there where I didn't put any glue. And now, oh, the back of that isn't very flat, is it? There we are. So that's done there. Where's my key? We'll put my key there. And then you've got a key to give you access to the journal card. Oh, I like that idea. So more fabric tack. I use so much of this. On it goes. Come on. Out you come. There we go. And let's go in there. I think I keep calling this fabric tack. I'm sorry. I don't know why. It's tacky glue. It's not fabric tack. Even though fabric tack I think does virtually the same job. So there we go. We have that. And I think we need to stick something on it. Now I love butterflies. So I do happen to have some butterflies here. I had a sheet of paper. It was, oh, I can't remember what it was now, what make it was, and it was just covered in butterflies. It was a piece of 12 by 12, and I thought, well, I don't really want to just use that because I think I'll have more fun cutting all the butterflies out. So we could put one there. Oh, look, we could put one at the top and 3 little ones playing about near the bottom. Oh, that's coming together very nicely. So we'll move those back out of the way. And these, I suppose we can put down with our glue stick now. So it's easier to take the butterfly to the glue stick than it is to take the glue stick to the butterfly. There. And this one. There. And now the back of this butterfly. Oh, this glue is melting again because it's so hot in the house. I think, which way should we do it? There, I think. We'll do his wings sticking up a little bit. There. Oh, I like that. Yep. Now I could put more embellishments on it if I wanted to and try to keep that a bit still so the glue has time to dry. Perhaps a little bow or something there, but I don't know, I think that's enough. So I'll pop that to dry and we'll do another one. Try and clear a bit of space here because I've made a terrible mess. And see if I can find my postcard that I showed you a while ago and has probably got buried under everything. I'm not going to admit how long that took me to find this postcard under everything. Right, so there's our postcard, which we're going to keep. I think we should keep this side, but we're going to change the other side. Now, I do have these postcards here that I've coffee dyed. There's a big blob of coffee on there. May need to stick something over that later. But this postcard is it near enough the right size? Near enough, so I think we'll just stick that straight over there and then we can start putting some embellishments on. Or, I tell you what we could do. I could get one of my frilly scissors. This one is Arabzan, not quite sure. It's a frilly edge. And we could, if we cut that there, you're going to see, it's not going on that side, is it? It's going on this side. We don't really want all these bits behind it, do we? No. I know what we can do. We can put some of this on there first, which is darker, and then that will really show up. We'll do that. Right, so where is my piece of paper for sticking things? And my postcard. And we'll just stick some of this on, like that. Make sure you cover it all, especially the edges. Should we go for spots? I don't think spots are quite right today. We'll go for plain. So we'll match that up on the corners. Like that. It'll save us cutting one edge. There we go. And now, give it a run over. Make sure it's well and truly stuck. And then we'll cut it out. Oh, it's looking good already. What have you been doing today? Have you been doing any crafting? Let me know in the comments below. Do you craft every day? Do you craft some days? Once a week? When you get chance? Is it that you don't get chance for whatever reason? You like watching other people craft? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Right, so we've got this now, and I'm going to cut the edges off this. This may not go well. I'm supposed to match it up, but oh, that's a fiddle, isn't it? There we go, and chop that. I want to make sure that I take at least 1/4 inch off because I want to be able to see the colour underneath. These are clever things. I don't know, but I think they're quicker than using a punch. Because by the time you line your punch up as well, you can sort of do it by eye if you're using the scissors. Let's have a look. Oh yes, definitely, that's what I was looking for. So now we need to put some more glue on. Is that the way we want? Yes, that's the way we want to put the glue. I love coffee dyed paper, fabric. I've been getting into coffee dyed fabric a lot lately. I used to sew, I used to make patchwork quilts and things like that, but then I stopped doing that because I found it was a bit difficult on my hands. They were so heavy and I lost all interest in fabrics. I sold a lot of my fabrics off, but now I'm thinking, oh, I wish I didn't, because you can have so much fun with fabric journaling. There, oops, peeled a little bit off. That's not a problem. My trusty inker will just ink that over. There we go. Good as new. Right, so now we could do with sticking some things onto this. Let's give this a rub over. Now I've got here some bits and pieces. I pulled out. My new studio still isn't terribly organised, so I'm trying to work around myself. Oh, that's pretty. And what have we got? Should we stick one that side or should we move it there? We could put it over there. Do I have any more flowers? Oops, there goes one. That one's a bit big really, isn't it? It's covering the words. Oh, what about a toadstool? Oh yes, I like the toadstool. Oh, I think we'll do that. Are we going to do it like that? Yes, we'll do it like that. Right, where's my glue? Here it is. Right, we need to stick a little bit more glue under the corner there for the start. There we go. And now we'll glue this toadstool. This is so simple to do, and I got some ready-made cutouts that somebody gave me, which is a real treat. But you can get things like this from, if you go to the charity shop or the thrift store, whatever, and buy yourself some books. Sometimes you get like 10 for £1 or 10 for $1. But even if you pay $1 for a gardening book, check it out first to see that it has got some really nice pictures in it. And if it has, get it, and then you've got yourself an unending, well, not unending, but a huge supply of pictures of flowers, vegetables, mushrooms. You may even get some worms and snails if that's what you're looking for. So there we go, there's another journaling card. Very simple, but look at the back on that. It's really impressive. It's from 1904, and then the person can either add some journaling notes on here, or I'd be tempted not to put anything on it. I just think it's so pretty, but it would be useful for journaling notes too. Right, let's make another one. So for this next one, I'm going to use this image here. I just think it's really pretty. So I think what we'll do is we'll cut it with a cutter. And then we can work from there with using my frilly scissors. There we go. There's that one. I like that one too. Well, that can come next time. You can't make them all at the same time. Too many. So we come up here. This journaling cards can be any size you need them to be. So you can make them absolutely enormous, or you can make them very petite. You can make them tiny. It's up to you. So I'm going to cut just the word off there. And there we've got the picture side of a journaling card. I don't think I will frill. I may frill the top and bottom. No, I won't. I won't. So now the back of it is no good. You can't just leave that like that. So you can either get some plain paper and stick it on, or you can stick on some coffee dyed. This needs to be a bit wider. So I think we'll do somewhere up here. I don't think that thing's to do. Will that things to do fit on the back here? Oh, it will. Oh, right. So we'll cut that to fit. So we'll take off the city thing at the top because I don't need that. Are you as messy as me when you're crafting? Every time I finish, I always clean my desk. That I do, probably because it's a novelty that I got a new studio. But I would like to think that I'll always keep it clean. Is that going to happen? Do you think it's likely? Right, so there we want that to go. The thing is, I think I'd have to though, because I make so much mess and I'm quite a minimalist personality. So if I had to come into my room and it looked like this, I just don't think I would be able to be so creative. So for me, I think that I will be cleaning up after myself for quite a while. Right, so we just need it. I cut it roughly to there because I want to make sure we get exactly the right size. And more glue stick. I wonder if shares in the glue stick factories and glues have gone up since crafting has taken off. Especially since COVID, a lot of people are crafting. Ooh, it's melting again. I need a little fridge to keep my glue sticks in. I just move that out of the way. Pop that on. Move it into place quickly before it loses its slippability. Is slippability a word? I think it is. It is now. I give slippability honorary status as a word. Right, so there we go. And now we just need to trim around the edges. Or a little bit in if you're clumsy like me. Chopped a little sliver off, but never mind. That's fine. Right, so that of its own, I think, is a really cute journaling card. But you can add a few little things if you want to on the back. Now, I wouldn't recommend on the back because when you stick them into your pocket, which I found quite quickly that time, If you've got something on the back, it's going to get in the way when you're popping it in pockets. So if you're going to embellish, I would suggest you just embellish the front. Now, I've got some lace here that is really cute. I could put that on the top there. Or we could put it that way as a little tag. To pull it out. It goes with the lace curtains. Oh, decisions. I think we'll do that. I'm not sure. But then again, it doesn't matter. Let's give it a go. Sometimes we can take ourselves too seriously. Well, I know I take myself far too seriously sometimes. I'm trying to decide what to do. Thinking, for goodness sake, just stick it on. Right, so that is going to go. Need to straighten it up. And when I straighten it up, it makes the top a bit more ruffled, which is really pretty. And let's check what it's looking like this side. Oh yes, that's pretty. Chop it off like that. Oh, isn't that nice? Should we ink that? Yes, let's ink it. I like inking things, so we'll ink it anyway. There we go. A little bit of ink around the edges. Like that. And we'll do a bit on this side too. You don't use a lot. I thought, oh, these ink pads will just disappear in no time. But they don't surprising. Unless you want to put it on really thickly. But if you're just wanting to age the paper a little bit, then there's plenty on there. Right, plenty in the tub. Oh, plenty on the sponge pad. Right, so that's done there. Shall we put a little button or something on there? I think that would look cute. Have I got any little buttons that will go with that? I brought my jar of pink ones down, but I don't really want to put pink ones on. I don't think. Got a deck. Don't want to put a deck on. Let's just empty a few out. I got this sort of orangey colour. I don't know. Don't think I've got enough of them anyway. This is pretty, but it's not really in keeping with the colour of the journal card, is it? Nope, I'm not going to use that. One last try. What's this? This is, oh, that's more teddy bear colour, but it doesn't really work, does it? I think I may leave that one as it is. Put all my little buttons back in my jar. Oh, I want to do something now. I want to do something to it. What can I do? Could always glue that there, but I'm hiding the picture. No, I'm not going to do anything else to that. I'm going to be brave. If I go to do anything else, shout, stop it. Leave it alone. That's really pretty. Right, the next thing we're going to do is use some 6x6 paper. So we'll make ourselves some space here and have a look. This is Isabella Design Paper Stack by Bo Bunny. And there are various designs on here. Let's have a look. We've got sort of swirly whirlies. That's nice. Oh, perhaps we'll use that. And we've got some tags. Those roses are lovely too. How difficult to make a decision. We'll go for this one. Tear it out. And now it's paper. It's not got enough integrity of itself, so we're going to have to glue it. Not a problem. It is a problem on that because it's so gluey now, so we turn that over and then you can use this. Right, so if we check where the halfway line is, and then we won't be over gluing it. So fold it so the edges are touching, the corners, fold it in half and then glue the half. I'm getting warmer and warmer. They promised us thunder and lightning. Now, I love thunder and lightning, but we never got it. And because it's so close in the evenings in September, we don't quite often in those conditions get thunder and lightning, but there's nothing out there. It doesn't even look ominously cloudy. It just feels hot and humid. Right, so there we have a 6x3 journal card. That was really easy, wasn't it? What I want to do now, though, is get a photograph to stick on this, I think. Right, I found this photograph. It's a bit grubby. Let's give it a wipe over with a wet wipe. See if it'll help. No, I think it's stained. Right, so I'm going to just put this about there. Back onto our bit of paper, some more glue. If anybody knows, can you leave me a message in the comments, tell me how to get the last bit out of a glue stick. It's really frustrating. I don't know whether it's about ½ an inch of glue from a glue stick that gets wasted every time. Very annoying. Right, we'll pop that there. Now normally I would go for the rule of thirds, so I'd move it up into the top third or lower into the bottom, but the roses are there. Trying to get this straight. There we go. And I want to put something a bit higher here. Now if I put it too high, it's going to come out off the top, and if I put it too low, it's going to hide the roses. So that's where it's going. And now I want to get something like a lacy flower. I've got these. Do you think that's too dark? I could ideally do with either white, grey or pink, I think. All right, I'll cut a flower off this, which is a lady's top. Trim around. It's really simple and quick to do, and you don't have to be too fussy about where you cut it. Just snip through every little, whatever you call it, cotton attachment. Which way is that? No, that is the good way. There we go. So we can put that there, and I think we'll put another butterfly on because I'm a butterfly addict. And where are my butterflies gone? So which one of these butterflies are we going to use? Now I can hear a buzzing. Last time I recorded, I could hear a buzzing. It didn't come out on the recording as far as I know, but I've been right round the house and I can't find out what it is that's buzzing. No idea. Right, I can put that there, but it doesn't look very good. I'll be back. There we go, that's better. I don't like that at all. It's not very good, is it? Right, let's use one of these flowers. Oh, something's buzzing away and I have no idea what it is. At least it's not so stressful now, because when it first happened I was like, oh no, I was running around the house trying to find out what it was, and then it was coming from nowhere. We detached, so it couldn't be the neighbours, so I don't know. Something weird going on. And it was about the same time in the evening too. Something weird's happening. It's not the heating, and we don't have air conditioning, so it's not that. Ah, that's better, isn't it? Just take that little loop off there. That shouldn't really be there. This isn't sticking very well. A little bit more, like that. I think maybe we should have used the tacky glue for this. Let's mix our glues. You ready for this? Let's live life dangerously. Hey. Tacky glue and glue stick. If that comes off now, then there's nothing we can do. Sort of stapling it on. Right, so I'm going to put that there and a butterfly on there. What do you think? Now that pink goes with the pink rose down here. Or we could put a bigger butterfly. I think that's too big really, isn't it? Yep. Oh, what other butterflies? I've got this. Is that the same as the other one? Yep. Oh, we've got this completely pink one. Or the pink and grey one, I think, are our choices. I think I'd go for the pink and grey. I think that's a bit overkill. Right, out with the tacky glue. Put some on the back there. Stick that down. Make sure whatever's in your photograph isn't covered by this, because your photograph really is the feature. Even though there's lots of pretty bits and pieces and embellishments stuck on, it's the photograph you really want to be seen. And then a little butterfly. Whoops, there. Oh, I like that. Very pretty. Now, do we need to put some lace on? Just because I love putting lace on. Let's have a look what laces we got. We got this thin one again that we could put along the bottom there. I think that would look nice. Oh, we got this frilly one. Nope, that's going to cover the lace, so that's not happening. But poor donkey's got his face chopped off. Let's have a look this way. Nope, that's too deep as well. So it would have to be a narrow one or some narrow ribbon. I do have some pink narrow ribbon. Check out my drawer. And here, some pink narrow ribbon. Right. I'll cut some of that off and we'll give it a try. On my very expensive, snazzy ribbon and lace holders. And now we'll have a look at this. I like that coming off the ends, but we can't do that. So it would have to come like that. But then it cuts the card in half. If I do it like that, no, I don't think we're going to be putting that on. I don't think so. I've got this wider, but that doesn't look good. Nope, I think we leave it like that. We'll stop fiddling around. So we've got a photograph, a piece of lace and a butterfly. On the back we need something. I should have done the back first really. So what are we going to put on the back? Now we could put a piece of paper like that. Could do with it being a little bit longer really, couldn't we? And I don't want to put, like for example, not this piece exactly, but that isn't going to go with the grey. I think it needs to be a nice crisp white. And then back. Alright, so if we're going to put this on, it would be nice to have a bit of a gap. So we'll cut it sort of there. Oh dear, this desk is getting messier by the minute. So I'll cut down there. Like that. And now we'll have a look how long that needs to be. Coming from this end, we can always turn it around. We don't want to cover the roses, so I think about there. We'll go to just below that line. Put it over there, chop it like that. There we go. In theory, that's the right size. Oh yes, that's worked very nicely. And I'm not going to ink that because I don't want any brown on it at all. I think the grey and the white are looking really good. Right, let's get some glue. Doesn't make any difference, we put it on this side. There we go. And now, pick it up off there if we can. Pop it as centrally, I can't even speak properly when I'm concentrated, as centrally as we possibly can. That's not very central, is it? Well, if the future of the earth depended on me putting something centrally, then we're all in trouble. I've got to be careful because I was moving that then and I think I was slipping the one on this side. So there we have another journaling card. Now what we can do here, if we want to do, is put a little tag. Now I got one here I've made, and I put this tag inside before I folded it, but I thought I'd try one without, and I quite like it without. I think it's such a simple design, I don't want to clutter it up with things. So yep, I think I'm going to leave that one as it is. Right, I think we're just about going to have time for one more card. We'll use another piece of 6x6, and we got one I'm not so keen on. I don't want it really ugly, but I want one that's not as pretty as it could be. I'll go for this one. There we go, because most of this is going to be covered up. Right, so now we do the old fold in half job. Make our 3x3. Remember, you can do this any size. You can cut it to 4 and make it 2x2. You can get a 12x12, and you can actually make it 6x12 if you wanted to. That would be one big journal if the journaling card would fit into that. But there's nothing to say you can't have a huge journal, like a coffee table book. I do. Can you imagine how long that would take to fill? Right. The usual. Give that some... Oh, we need to make sure we've done the edges. Top as well, and then we fold it over, take it off the yucky sticky bit, and give it a run over with our trusty bone folder. Really is worth doing this because it gives you a nice crisp edge. Right, now we're going to do something a little bit different. I think we'll put some of this on here. I think that's going to be very pretty. So I'm going to cut up here. Hopefully I'll get away without using my dressmaking scissors. We snip it there and tear. There we go. And that can go a little bit shorter, I think. Not a problem with all these little bits and pieces because you can use them for tags, anything, bit of decoration. Right, so that is going to be going on there like that. So guess what, more tacky glue, and we're going to come along there. It's about the height of where the bottom of this fabric ends, and then before I start rubbing it in, I'm going to get my wet wipe in my hands so that I don't end up sticking to everything around like that. Clean the glue off my finger and then pop that on there like that. Some people do everything on the table, but I don't know if it's because my eyes are not as good as they used to be, but I like to pick things up so that I can see clearly. I hope it picks up well on the camera too. Right, scissors, cut that off like that. And then out with the bone folder. Just run gently, don't put too much pressure on, otherwise it'll just all slide up. Right, there we go. Now we'll put some lace on the bottom. I love using lace. I may have said this once or twice. We'll put some of this lace on, I think. Yes, that's very pretty. So we'll cut that at the scallop there. And let's see how high this is going to come. Oh, that's going to work really well because of these flowers poking out there. Right, so get our glue and we'll come across there. Around, everywhere. And then wet wipe to the ready. Spread it around. Like that. There we go. This isn't brilliant if you don't like getting your fingers dirty. You probably find it rather uncomfortable. So we'll put that there. Press it down. And then, you've guessed it, out with the scissors and chop it straight. There. And oops, the longer I go on with the craft session, the stickier everything gets. By the end of the day, I'm trying to clean everything up and I'm trying to put it down and it's glued to my hands. Right, so we've got that like that. Now we could do with something to go a button, I think. What do you think about a button? Oh yes, that's pretty. We put a button there, so some glue midway. Put a button. I like to put a good wad of glue when I'm putting a button in. It looks a little bit excessive, but sticking plastic to fabric does need a little bit of extra oomph. Right, along this top here, I'd like to stick some more lace, really. Yes, it is just an excuse to use lace. So we've got our thin lace, which I think could look rather good. Or we could use our medium length lace. If we could find the end, we could. Oh yes, I think that's the one I'm going to put on. Yep, so we'll give that a little chop. We've even got lace in there now. But one thing I would like to do is put a tab on this one. And I could use this, couldn't I? Aha! So, how long do we want this tab? About there. I'll use my pinking shears, I think, for just the ends. There. And there. I don't want too long a tab. And what I'm going to do is glue this tab on before I glue the lace on. So that's going to be going... Now you can, I'll put it in the middle. If you know which side it's going on, I show you here with just a piece of paper. If your tag is going this side, it's good to have your tab there. If you go on this side, it's good to have your tab there. But if you put it in the middle, it'll do either. So because I don't know which side this is going to go on, I'm going to put it in the middle. So we need, surprise, surprise, more glue. I'm going to use my tacky glue again because it's fabric. Like that. Right along the ends there. Oops. Fabric is not easy to glue. I will use my sewing machine one of these days on one of these journal making videos. It's so much easier than using this sticky glue. Even though you might think, oh no, I can't use a sewing machine. It's really not that difficult. As long, I mean, if you want to do something really technical, yes, it can become difficult, but there are ways to do it that make it really easy, and I'll show you those. Just really basic stitches. Right, so that's there. Now we need a little bit more glue along the top for the lace, like that. Wet wipe. It's like one of these hospital dramas, isn't it? Nurse, pass me the scalpel. Mop my brow. Pass me the wet wipe. I've got glue on my hands. There we are. And now, oh, I don't want my pinking shears, I want my straight scissors. 1, 2. Now there's something missing from that, and I think I know what it is. Because of my tastes, certainly not a cluttered desk, that's not missing. Because of my taste, it's going to be butterflies. So let's have a look what butterflies I've got here. Oh, where's the wet wipe again? Right, I could stick this big one central there, or I could do, oh, got a couple of little ones, which I could do. I don't want to do one in each corner, that looks a little bit too, I don't know, twee. I could do those 2 butterflies flying away there, and we could use that pink one, or we could use, ooh, that big one. Oh, I like the big one. Yep, it's a little bit long on the wings. I wonder if I can trim those without looking too trimmed, if you see what I mean. Don't know how much I can take off without it looking like I've chopped the ends off the wings. Around like that. Let's try that. Because it's no good having these sticking out. Where it's going into a pocket, it's going to get damaged. Oh, that's a perfect fit. Yep. Wonderful. Oh, it's always a lovely feeling when you try something and go, oh yes. Especially when it's the first thing you try. It doesn't happen very often with me. I usually try one, then another, then another. But occasionally I have had those times in life when I've gone, oh, perfect. And it was the first one I tried. Put that there, push it down. And we'll straighten that button up a little bit before it dries. Oh, we need to, the little butterflies, we forgot about those. Right. There. Oops. Not going to need to thin the glue out too much up here, because if you don't put a lot on in the first place, then it's going to sink into the lace, and you don't need to come too close to the edge because it's not going to be in the actual pocket. Right. So there we are. They're not sticking out very well, but I didn't want to ink them because this is, again, a sort of grey themed one. I know there's a bit of beige on here, but I'd rather keep the crisp look. So I think that's okay. Right, let's neaten up my desk in an instant and have a look, see how well we've done on the tag making. Poof! So there are 5 really simple journaling cards that you could make just by either using bits and pieces you have around the house, or you could go and buy yourself a few embellishments, or as I do, a bit of a mix. I do a little bit of reusing, recycling, and a little bit of buying myself some niceties to put into my journal and the things I put in my journal. Some of this lace was actually sent in by a viewer, so my supplies come from all over. You may find you know somebody who, maybe your mum or your gran, or even your younger sister who's doing some sort of craft project in school may have some offcuts of lace that they can give you, or some pretty papers. Check out that junk mail and check out the charity shops for some books. and it's amazing what you'll find. If you've enjoyed this video, then please give me a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe, and that way then you can get to see whenever I put out new videos on how to make things for your journals, or whether I do some painting, some drawing, some haul videos. I would really love to see you here on my channel and joining in and leaving comments, because I love hearing from my viewers. I'll see you all next time, but until then, don't forget, have fun. Bye.